Hi folks, welcome to my channel. I'm Sarah and today I'm painting a kingfisher bird using a mixture of different media, and whilst the time lapse of this video is going on in the background, I'm going to talk a bit about why I like mixing it up and using so many different art supplies in one piece. I will say all the supplies I use today I will list in the description box below if you want to go and check those out. And there's also something I'd like your opinion on, so watch this video till the end and drop any comments in the box below. Don't forget as well that if you like this video to give it a thumbs up and subscribe and hit the bell icon as well so that you don't miss out on any future videos. So back to mixed media, and you'll see that I've started off with a pencil outline on hot press paper. Hot press paper is really good if you want to use mixed media as it's really smooth, so it's good for colour pencils and markers and fine liners and all that kind of stuff as well. So I went straight in with my fine liners and my pencils, but why do I use so many different art supplies? Why not stick to just one? Well, the first reason is that I'm simply just obsessed with art products, and that's all art products really, and I love trying out new things. I don't really want to limit myself to just one medium, and by using a mixture of different mediums, it does mean that I can take advantage of all of the different properties of all of the different art materials. So for example, the fine liners are really easy to control, good for fine details and really nice crisp lines like I wanted on the kingfisher's beak. The colour pencils, when they're really sharp to a nice point, can give really good details as well, and also they're really good for shading and getting really nice gradients and changes between tones. Now the paints and markers, they're really good as well for evenly covering large areas. So you can see here I'm using my Ecoline paints just to block out those main areas on the bird's head, chest and feathers. So I feel that mixing it up is quite a lot quicker because, as you can see, I can put down quite large areas of paint and just block out those main areas before going in with the details. And as much as I agree that art shouldn't be rushed, I don't always have a lot of time spare, so sometimes this does work to my advantage. So by using lots of different materials in one piece, it keeps it interesting and fresh. It keeps it moving, and I don't get time to be bored, and I don't have to spend hours and hours on one particular area, so I don't get achy hands or anything like that either. So it just really keeps my interest, really keeps things moving along, and I really enjoy working in this way. However, that's not to say that I'm only ever going to do mixed media pieces from now on, as I still like the really loose watercolour pieces and that sort of style as well. So I don't really want to limit myself to one thing, but there are a few reasons why I do like now and again doing these mixed media pieces. They're also really good for the realistic drawings that I like to do. But if, say, you're doing a loose watercolour, you wouldn't necessarily need all the detail that I'm trying to get with this particular piece. So a few tips I would give you if you want to try mixing media is that you make sure that you do mix things in the right order. So by that I mean that, for example, with colour pencil works really well layered on top of paint or markers or something like that, but if you did it the other way around and tried to put paint on top of colour pencils, you'd find that it wouldn't really work. The paint wouldn't stick to the colour pencil because they're usually wax or oil based. So if you're doing mixed media, you need to make sure that you do things in the right order and in the right layers. The other disadvantage, I suppose, to doing mixed media like this is that your finished piece probably won't be as archival, so it won't last as long as, say, if you were using just colour pencil or just watercolours, for example. With individual medias, if you're just doing a piece, say in coloured pencils, you can look on the box and the manufacturers usually tell you which pencils are light fast or archival. If you're kind of mixing it up and using lots of different mediums, then it's very difficult to know whether your finished piece is going to be archival, and if so, how long the piece is going to last without fading. Some areas might fade faster than others, and so on. So that can be a disadvantage if, for example, you were going to sell your original pieces of artwork. I mean, I would normally get around this because I would usually keep my original pieces of art and make prints. So if I wanted to sell prints, then I would get them done, or use archival paper, for example, and get them printed with archival inks. So even if your original artwork wasn't going to last 100 or 200 years, then you can kind of get around that by doing a nice archival print. So if you're sending it to someone, you can genuinely say that it is going to last and it isn't going to fade. So I don't know if I've mentioned on last week's video of the toucan, but I have just opened an Etsy shop, and that's called Art Hive by Sarah. I think I did try and put a link in the toucan painting I did last week, but I did actually end up putting it in the description box because I couldn't put a link on the screen to an external website. So anyway, I will put information in again at the bottom of the description box, so go and check that out if you want to go and see this piece for sale. It will probably be up in the next couple of weeks. It's not on there yet, but just something to look out for. And the last thing I wanted to say before finishing up is that I'd asked your opinion in the beginning of this video, and I said I was after some thought on what you thought, because I had a bit of an idea that I would leave the background for this piece. So originally I wanted to keep the background really nice and crisp, have a nice realistic kingfisher bird, and just have a really nice crisp white background. But having done the picture of the toucan that I did last week, it was so bright and so colourful, so vibrant, and it just next to it, when I put them together, I just sort of thought that maybe the kingfisher looks a bit plain on its own. So I was going to ask you guys what your opinion is. What do you think about having a background to this piece? Should I put in some sort of blurry background, maybe a sort of a pastel effect on the background, or should I leave it as it is? So I'd really appreciate your thoughts on that. If you've got an idea or what you think, put in the comments box below just to let me know, and that would really help me out. So back to the piece then. I'm just finishing off now by doing the branch that the kingfisher is sitting on, and I have to say that normally when I get to this stage of any painting, I usually start to get a little bit tired, and I love doing the animals, but the branches and the sort of background things can be a little bit tiring, so that's maybe why I didn't do a background as well. But I have to say, by mixing up and putting down like a layer of markers first and then going in with my colour pencil on the top, it really sped it up, and it just made the whole thing so much more enjoyable because you can really see progress happening far more quickly and easily. So this whole piece I think only took me about 2.5 hours, and normally if I was doing it in just coloured pencil, for example, doing all those individual feathers and getting all those layers down would have probably taken me, I'm guessing, but about maybe 6 hours, something like that. So it really does help using this mixed media technique to kind of speed things up and keep things moving, and I really enjoyed doing this one. And then right at the end I just went in with some white gel pen just to pick out some of those highlights and finish it off, just going around the eye and picking out some of those highlights as well with my white gel pen and white Prismacolor colour pencil. So anyway guys, that's the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'd love to know your opinion on what you think about mixed media pieces. Have you tried it? Do you normally do it? Or do you prefer to keep things simple and just do one art supply at a time? So let me know, drop a comment in the box below, and thanks for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Bye!